2022 document that I am holding is an 87-page report from the then acting state auditor in California addressed directly to the governor of California, warning in no uncertain terms that the state's weak oversight of hospice agencies has created opportunities for large-scale abuse and fraud. The aged population increased 40% in California between 2010 and 2021, while the hospice agencies increased an astonishing 1,589%. Quote, 210 active hospice agencies located within 1 mile of each other on Van Nuys in Los Angeles County. Now, did Gavin Newsom go to these locations? But no, these were the fraud warnings listed by the acting state auditor 4 years ago, leading him to conclude, quote, that a network or networks of individual perpetrators in Los Angeles County are engaging in a large and organized effort to defraud the Medicare and Medi-Cal hospice programs. It appears that California's state auditor discovered 4 years ago what RFK Jr.
The hospices in Los Angeles, we've shut down 500 of them. Why? Because those hospices did not exist. Right. They were signing up patients. They were getting patient IDs, signing them up, and charging us $6,000 a month for that patient. How did we detect them all? Because the patients never died.
The auditor notes that the California Department of Public Health had failed to issue regulations for its hospice licensing process, despite having had the authority to do so since 1991. And then listen closely to this, quote, we reviewed cases in which public health became aware of possible fraud during the licensing process, and instead of denying the licenses, this is Gavin Newsom's health agency, it granted licenses to these hospice agencies. Why? Now, the failure of Gavin Newsom's government paved the way for this.
You'd be amazed at how many hospices the door you can walk up to in California and there is nobody there. How do you put a hospice in a burrito stand in California? How do you put a hospice in a tire store in California?
But Gavin Newsom told us he was on the case. Newsom told us that he was, quote, leading the charge against large-scale identity theft and hospice fraud. Well, apparently not. His auditor wrote this. Since 2015, the California Department of Public Health has never suspended a hospice license and has revoked a hospice license only once. That's what he wrote in 2021. Now, the auditor went on to recommend that Newsom convene a task force to investigate and prosecute fraud, require departments to establish working groups for risk assessment, among other recommendations. Now, Gavin Newsom did sign legislation in 2021, which put a moratorium on new hospice licenses. Clearly, however, his efforts were insufficient.